Lesson 2, budget. So you want to invest, but you don't have the money to do so. Simple. Time to budget. I researched the average monthly income for people in their mid-20s to mid-30s, and it's $3,000 per month. So that's the target where you're going to use and try to adjust it to your own income. My target for you is to save 5% of your monthly income. So out of $3,000, that's only $150. Now I would prefer after a month or two, we reach 10%, which is $300. That's not that bad. $300 to save, place it in your investment account, and start investing. The more you save, the more you invest, the more you're gonna make for the long term. So let's dig in. Assuming that we're starting with your monthly income at $3,000, now we need to add up your expenses, which is basically how much money you spend per month.
He's got a $1,500 a month cell phone bill.
So a perfect example of adding up your expenses are your rent, plus utilities like your water bill and your power bill, and you know what? Let's include Wi-Fi and cable bill as well. Then you have insurance, your car insurance, your health insurance. If you get billed annually, take the lump sum and divide it by 12, because I want to know how much you're paying in insurance every single month. Then we have your phone bill. Then you have your food bill, how much you spend at the grocery store, as well as how much you spend going out for dinner, and include drinks if you want. And then you also have your gas. Wake me up before you go. And then at the very bottom, I want you to add spending money. How much do you think you spend every month? Now this is gonna be the bottom category because this is what I like to say, optional spending. You are not required to spend it to survive day to day, month to month.
You can get an unlimited plan for $200.
So your first section is your income, $3,000 per month. Next section are your expenses, how much money you go through after what you've earned per month to survive. And now you need to see what you've saved. Well, how do we do that? We need to trim. And where do we trim? From the optional spending. And that probably starts with going out to dinners, going out for drinks, going shopping.
Come on.
When you go shopping, your brain releases a neurotransmitter known as dopamine every time you shop. Makes your body feel good.
Come on.
God, stop slapping me, really.
Beautiful.
Well, that same neurotransmitter is associated with drug use and addiction. The point I'm trying to make is addiction to anything is a short-term pleasure, and you need to keep returning to receive the same pleasure. You've got to shake the addiction of shopping, spending money when you don't need to. And I'll tell you what, I understand if it's an addiction, it makes you feel good. But if you're gonna go spend the money, then make a deal with yourself. Don't spend your savings on shopping. Make a deal that if you're gonna spend money, you need to sell something first that you don't wear, that you don't use, and you need to take the profit from selling that, and that's what you can use shopping. You are no longer allowed to take your savings and spend it on a new dress. I mean, listen, some people need new dresses to go to work or a fancy outing. I totally understand. But you need to remain disciplined and know the difference between a necessity or simply a pleasure. So I can't be instructing all of you to do this if I don't practice what I preach. But don't worry, I have a perfect example for you that I'm living right now. Really can't wait for the new Apple Watch to come out, and I'm going to buy it. But I already own the Series 3, which is the most recent Apple Watch. So I remain disciplined. I was not about to take money out of my investment account that is making me money and spending it on a product that I don't need. So I did 4 things. Number 1, I sold 3 watches that I never wear on Craigslist. Number 2, I realized that I bought the Nintendo Switch gaming system, but I never play it, so I sold that. Number 3, I cut down the amount of times I go out to dinner per week. So I shaved 2 nights off per week, which is 8 times per month that I am eating in, cooking in, and I'm not paying a premium to eat dinner cooked by some fancy chef.
Do you know who my favorite chef is?
No.
You.
But number 4, a big one is, every Saturday I like to get up, have some tea, and then walk down the street to a Barnes & Noble and buy a book on investing. Well, I still do that because I love my green tea, but instead of buying the book, I sit there for an hour or 2 and I read that book instead of purchasing it. Seems like a sacrifice for a small amount of profit, but to me, I want to remain disciplined. It just goes to show you that you can alter the smallest things in your life and it can turn a personal profit for you.
What? What are you even saying?
So in order to stay on top of this, I want you to do 3 things. I want you to make 3 lists and put them on your fridge.
Beautiful.
I want you to make a list on your monthly income to the left, and then I want you to make a monthly list right next to that, your expenses, what you spend on, and keep track of it. And then to the right, I want you to see how much you save. Remember, your target is 5% over the first month or 2, and then month 3, 4, and 5, 10%. And I swear, if any of you can hit 20%, you're pulling in $3,000 a month, and then you save $600 a month, fantastic. I'm through the roof. But before I let you go, I want to instill this in all of you. Before you start budgeting and saving and implementing it into your investments, make sure you have enough money to set aside $1,000 for an emergency fund. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow in the stock market, and you sure don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in life. So make sure you have your emergency fund in place.